Hey everyone, welcome to Geek Cheese here on YouTube and welcome to Cheese League Baseball. I'm Greg, I'm your Cheese League Commissioner and your announcer for the whole entire Cheese League season. And I just wanted to do a video to introduce you guys to our 10 teams, also give you some highlights of the season, um, and yeah, and kind of just give an overview to prepare you guys for opening day, which is tomorrow, July 4th, 2020. It's hard to believe it's here. This has been a labor of love for the past month and a half. So before that, I do want to show our Cheese League commercial. So let's roll that beautiful beam footage. That one's hit quite well. And sneaks over the wall for another grand slam. And there it is, folks. So I hope you enjoy that little sneak peek of Cheese League Baseball. Before we get to the teams, I did want to kind of run through some of the things that you saw in that video. So we have 10 teams. I'll introduce you to all of those teams in a few minutes. Every team plays a 24 game schedule. All games are 7 innings long. I chose 7 innings because I wanted to keep things moving along. I didn't want things to get a little too boring. And every game lands right about 25 minutes long. So the action is pretty much nonstop. 120 total games throughout the whole entire season. All games will broadcast, I say in air quotes, all games will premiere on YouTube. And one of the goals that I wanted to do for Cheese League Baseball, because when I started this project, there was no Major League Baseball on the docket. So I wanted to broadcast the games at typical times when MLB games would be broadcasting. So you'll see opening day tomorrow. We got afternoon ball games and we have evening ball games, and that's the way it's going to be throughout the whole season. So we got ball games at 8 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the afternoon, 1 and 2, 7 o'clock. So those are the kind of the times that you'll expect. Again, I just wanted to give this kind of an authentic baseball season kind of feel with that. Um, so the season will also run July through September. Again, 120 games, so starts July 4th tomorrow. And we'll run through the first 2 weeks of September, which means that playoffs will be held around the same time the actual baseball playoffs will be held. So that's pretty cool, and we're going to broadcast all of our playoff games live on our YouTube channel, on Geek Cheese on YouTube. In addition to all of those things, after every 10 games, we do CSPN, Cheese Sports News Nightly. I don't know what it means or what it stands for. We do stat shows, and pretty much with that, I just run through high-level stats. I don't get too deep in anything. I go through the standings, I go through the league leaders, and I just do kind of brief overviews of team stats. So those are things to keep an eye out for, and things that will happen as we go throughout the season. So without further ado, let me introduce you all to our teams here in Cheese League Baseball, and I'm going to queue up our beautiful game here. Again, I absolutely love this game. This is Super Mega Baseball 3. I played Super Mega Baseball 2 on Xbox so many hours. And when Super Mega Baseball 3 launched, I just knew that I'm just gonna love it. And they added so many new features, so many new cool ballparks to the game. It's just a beautiful game, and I'm having so much fun playing it and talking over the games. So kudos to Metalhead Software for developing one heck of a game. I honestly feel like this is a great mix between Ken Griffey Jr. Baseball, RBI Baseball, and the show in many different ways. It's a beautiful mix of all of those amazing games. So kudos again to Metalhead Software. All right, first team, we're going to run through these 10 teams. We're going to do it pretty quick, give you a kind of a brief overview of their rosters. And also give you an idea of what the teams look like, so when you see them out in the field, you'll know what the uniforms look like and all that stuff. So first team is the Feud and Fowls. I wanted to give them a, I think this Goose logo is new this with Super Mega Baseball 3, but I knew I kind of wanted to give them kind of like a Baltimore Orioles feel. So that's what you'll see. So we got the black jersey with the white fowls and the orange pinstripes, like the pinstripes in the socks. I do like the Fowls alternate kind of hat logo. And then we have the white jersey with the Feud and Fowls across the chest. I think it's a pretty sharp looking jersey. And also I love the new addition to have kind of two-tone tops for the hats. Love that addition. Absolutely love it. So let's take a look at their roster. Again, I'm going to do some high-level overviews and kind of go through some of their top players, some things that stand out to me. So right off the bat, Kellen Moran and Louis Huber are both A- rated players overall. Got high power, high contact, pretty mid-level speed there from Moran on these three little levels here. If you're not familiar with Super Mega Baseball 3, this is how the players are kind of rated. And some of those things actually do matter. The traits also come into play quite a bit. So the traits are new with Super Mega Baseball 3. So sometimes, if Louis Huber's up versus a righty and his power gets increased, goes up to 52, goes up a little bit, maybe he can hit a home run. But Louis Huber, kind of a mid-level power guy, but big on contact and big on speed, which is great. It's kind of what you need out of a left fielder. Marcos Lester's there. He's your speedy guy in the lineup there, 94 in the speed meter. Let's take a look here too at some of the bigger bats. Rod Slow is your big bat with 94 on the power meter. And any other highlights that we can say? Dave Roth with 82 in speed. Lucy Taverna, kind of more of a, I guess, a power hitting second baseman. Pretty good on the contact meter too. Not terribly speedy. Oliver Hanna, also another speedy outfielder for you Fowls fans. Let's looking at their starting rotation. Woodland Brandt right up top. He is your power arm, 92 on the velocity meter. Your junk pitcher out of the rotation would be Bo Lawson, B+ rated. Pretty darn good there. That junk accuracy is actually pretty high too. Composed, so you can see plus 25 accuracy when pitching with 3-ball count. So junk baller might get into 3-ball counts a little bit much. Thankfully he's composed, so he can kind of bear down and make it happen. Looking at your, so you see Sardee and Humphrey here are kind of longmen, a starter reliever kind of roles. You'll see them in both. And then Amira Williams would be your A- rated closer. Super high in the accuracy meter. Kind of just puts the ball there and lets the defense do the work to get out of the ball game, and just takes care of business. So that, folks, is a quick high-level overview of the Feud and Fowls. Let's move on to the next team. We got the Graziers. I knew that I wanted to put the Triceratops in there somewhere, just wanted to figure out how, and I ended up with kind of like a Pittsburgh Pirates kind of feel, and I absolutely love the Graziers unis. The mustard yellow uniform for their away jerseys, I'm absolutely in love with it. I just love that yellow. The yellow and black color scheme for Pirates is just beautiful. And I made the G out of a couple of shapes, and I wanted to have like kind of like a classic, almost like Cincinnati Reds kind of look to their G, and that's how they kind of played out. I think they look pretty sharp, those jerseys. Taking a look at their roster, your A- player right up top is Miguel Esperanza. A little bit higher in the power meter, good contact, excellent speed. Dallas Hatter up there with 89 on the power meter, so big bat for your power hitting second baseman. We also look at Amos Yellow here, your power hitting, very high power hitting first baseman there, 95, so expect just home runs. You should be hitting a home run every time he comes up. Let's take a look here too. Justice Berg, your power hitting third baseman, so lots of power in this lineup. Even Chirper, left fielder, good in the power meter. Pretty speedy lineup too. Say that with 71, 71, 76 here with Torres and Klein and Stevenson. So lots of power in this lineup. And to back that up, they got some pretty good arms in the rotation with Robertson and Osborne right up top. Robertson, a little bit more of your power pitcher, actually high on velocity and junk. Not as accurate, but K-man, which is a really good important stat. So 2-strike count, velocity and junk are increased, so that's really good. Osborne's more of your accuracy pitcher, but pretty high on the velocity and junk meters as well. You got Raymond and Dixon to kind of round out the rotation. Also Houndstooth, who again, kind of that long man. But Houndstooth is a little bit more of a power arm out of the bullpen too. Wheeler kind of fills in that role as the closer, C-rated kind of role. So not really a dedicated closer for the Graziers, but nonetheless, you got some pretty good arms at the rotation. So they want their offense to hit lots of home runs, the rotation to take work, and hopefully they won't have to get to their bullpen. It's kind of the way they're structured. Now on to the Colonels. And Colonels, I love Colonial Plaza. It's a great field in Cheese League baseball, so I knew I wanted to have a team that played there, and Colonial and Colonels just made sense. I ended up with a kind of a San Diego Padres feel, especially with the brown on brown unis. I absolutely love this color scheme. I think the San Diego Padres are bringing it back too. Little brown on brown color scheme, little K with the corn cob in the background. And I like I'm not a huge fan typically of the football style jerseys, but it works for the Colonels this time around. So I'm liking the way they look. All right, let's take a look at their roster. Right up top, I mean, boom, right up top you got Aldo Davis, Corbin Fry, and Nico Hendricks as your A-rated players. Aldo Davis, super high in the power meter, pretty high in the contact meter, even pretty speedy for Aldo Davis too, for a power hitting third baseman. Corbin Fry is your contact guy, and then also Nico Hendricks is a good contact hitter for you. See, Dexter Maddox is your speedy guy, so you want to get him on base. Speedy center fielder there for the Colonels. Take a look out also at Marcus Gangnam, your power hitting first baseman, and Vincente Jeffries, also power hitting second baseman for you. So if you're a Colonels fan, I mean, look at their fielding. Their fielding is off the charts too, 96. So wow, their fielding is just, I mean, I've commentated over how many of these games, and I just never actually took notice to how good of a fielding team the Colonels were. But that does make sense, because where they have power in the lineup and very, very good fielding, the rotation isn't the best, and neither is their bullpen. Their highest rated starter is Logan. He is kind of more of a junk pitcher. They don't really have a big power arm out of the whole entire pitching staff. I would say Linguino 71 is your power arm. More of junk pitchers, accuracy pitchers. So more mid-tier, mid-level pitchers here for the Colonels. But I do want to throw out Harmony Sacred. She might surprise you this year for the Colonels. She just might surprise you. And same thing, Kramer. Kramer might surprise you. Ooh, geez. Kramer might surprise you as well. Pretty big accuracy guy. Again, they're focused on accuracy. Let the defense do the work. It's kind of how the Colonels end up. Taking a look now at the Marauders. I knew I wanted to do a Pirates kind of team, or a Pirates themed team. I already had the Graziers, so I ended up with the Marauders here. I also knew that I wanted to do a team that had the M, like the I think it's the Miami Hurricanes. I'm a big college baseball fan too. So this kind of reminds me of, their look and feel reminds me of the South Carolina Gamecocks a little bit. So you can see their little M in the logo. I absolutely love the way that looks. I like their away jersey a lot. Their home jersey, again, reminds me of the South Carolina Gamecocks. Has very much a college baseball feel to me, and I really, really dig that. I should mention, too, as we're going through, you'll see every team has a home park, and like I said, the Colonels play at Colonial Plaza. I also had the Feud and Fowls play at Lafayette Corner, and the Graziers play at Big Sky Ballpark. So those are just a couple of things. Lafayette Corner, Big Sky Ballpark are two new fields. So I try to use as many new fields as possible too for the season, because if you're a Super Mega Baseball fan, you might want to check that out too. Emerald Diamond just made sense because Pirates want to go after emeralds, right? Sorry for that little flub there. I hit back for some reason and didn't go to the roster for the Marauders. So let's take a look at the Marauders roster. Right up top we have Liu and Quinto as the kind of standout hitters. Liu is more of a contact and speed kind of guy, and then Lila Quinto is your big power bat first baseman for the Marauders. I mean, when we talk about power bats too, let's look at Tucker Gentry, 99. How is he not hitting a home run every single time he comes up? So power hitting shortstop for the Marauders here. Some other highlights, you know, got a pretty speedy team here too. You look at Raina McLongthrope, who's also high in the power meter. Another first base, third base kind of player, so she kind of goes in between. And Wilder Plow is also high on that meter as well. Again, pretty speedy team when we're looking up and down this lineup. Looking at their rotation, and on paper, this could be the best rotation in Cheese League Baseball. You got A-rated starters in Brock Farley and Flavio Yoft. That's how we're going to pronounce that. It took me a little while to get there. You'll find that funny in the earlier games. And, I mean, Yoft is a power pitcher with high velocity. Farley's a little bit more on the junk side. Very accurate, though, with it. So that's really good. Von Crum is your power arm, or not your power arm out of the bullpen, but just your A-rated arm, your solid arm. Very good junk pitcher. And then you look at Brennan Dickerson, A+ rated closer there, 98 in accuracy and pretty darn speedy as well. So definitely something to check out with the Marauders. So pretty darn cool, those Marauders players. All right, Olympians. Olympians, I wanted to do something a little different for their home, or I mean their away jerseys. I like to do something a little different for the away. I almost use it as like an alternate. So I really like the way they ended up looking. I wanted to do something with the torch for them, so the baseball bat just kind of made sense. I like the blue jersey for their home jersey too. I like that instead of just a plain white, and also the two-tone blue. I dig that as well. Taking a look at their roster, again we got some pretty good players right up front. Gertie Booper and Bernal, both A-rated players. They're actually quite even too. Now I'm looking at it in terms of power and contact, and maybe Bernal a little speedier. In terms of speed, we have Shaw, who's quite fast, and then also, holy cow, Getrecht and Fowl are also speedy players for the Olympians. Their big hitters are Marty Hull, the catcher, and Spencer Panada, and also Joy Trickster. Joy Trickster is a power hitting first baseman for the Olympians, and yeah, she can belt them, that's for sure. The rotation, we got Oldham as your ace right up top, A- ace there. A little more of an accuracy pitcher than junk and velocity. Your power arm out of the rotation is actually Adeline McClary, who kind of is a long man, but it's definitely your power arm here. Now that I'm looking, there's not really a true power pitcher out of their dedicated starters. Out of the bullpen, Bugles, your C+ rated, kind of, again, that long man kind of role, but high in the junk meter. And then Bree is your closer there, B- rated. So this team looks like they are gonna, they want to get on base, they want to hit big contact, big power, get on base, and maybe score some runs, steal some bases. That's kind of how they are set up. Maybe not as reliant on their pitching staff. Looking at the Rampage and Rhinos. They have a New York Mets kind of feel for sure. So again, I wanted to do something different for their alternate, so I kind of had the idea of the Rampage, the Rhino I there, and the R. I'm not a huge fan of that, but we're going to stick with it this season. And then this is their home jerseys. Not a Mets fan by any chance, but I actually do like their jerseys. I think they look pretty sharp. Something about the Mets colors is it works for baseball, doesn't it? Let's take a look at their roster. Kellen Webb up top with their power hitting right fielder. See him play left field quite a bit too, but big power guy, big contact guy. Also, Micah Gilmore is your power hitting second baseman. Miles Pruitt, also Miles Pruitt actually plays third quite a bit. Power hitting infielder nonetheless. Kason Prowse here, 98 on the contact meter. I mean, he should just be getting on base constantly. Unfortunately, he doesn't run very well. So, other notables here, we have McFreddy and Peichel and Sparks and Baker are all kind of in the 70 range for the Rampage in terms of power. So something to keep an eye on there. And in terms of the rotation, this might rival the Marauders. Their rotation is outstanding between their starters and their bullpen. Buchanan and Sims right up top. Buchanan more the power pitcher. Sims definitely a junk pitcher with 86 in the junk meter. That is our Cheese League mascot Cooper here. Frazier out of the bullpen, 82, 92, 63. Just a real solid arm out of the bullpen for them. And then Marcos Graham, their A-rated closer. Look at that, 78, 91, 75. I mean, he should be lights out in that closer role. Sorry for the second weird cut, but our Cheese League mascot Cooper decided that he wants to sit on my lap right now. So you'll hear him in the background of some games, his little jingle jangles of his collar. Yeah, that's how it goes. That's our dog. But now we're on to the Steamrollers. Steamrollers, they kind of have, I really enjoy the way their jerseys came out. They kind of have like a, almost like a Toronto Blue Jays kind of feel to them. They almost feel like a minor league team for the Blue Jays, like how they would look. But I really like the train for this year. I think that's also a new addition in Super Mega Baseball 3. So the Steamrollers kind of had the idea of making that look like a train going across. And their jerseys are again, they're kind of plain in terms of like the fonts and all that kind of stuff. But I do like the way it came together. Again, it has like a Toronto Blue Jays feel to me, and I really, really like that. I love the Blue Jays, especially those hats. I love the Blue Jays hats like that. It just does it. Let's take a look at their team here, their roster, as Cooper joins us. Banjo Crane and Jericho Dozen Rolls. Jericho Dozen Rolls might be the best name in this whole entire game. It's so fun to say. Jericho Dozen Rolls right up top. They're top-rated players. You can see Dozen Rolls really high in the contact meter, and also Crane pretty high on power and contact. Annika Proctor is your power-hitting first baseman. And same thing with Chuck Roquette, your power-hitting second baseman. So things to keep an eye on. They're your big bats. Kurt Johnston, super, super high in the contact meter. Pretty good on speed as well. So Johnston get on base, make things happen. Do know the Rollers do like their run on the base paths. Yeah, just up and down. Another notable is Hopkins here is pretty high on the power meter as well. So things to keep an eye on. uh, their rotation could be the best rotation. Now I've talked about, you know, Rampage and Marauders with their overall pitching staffs, but the rotation of the Steamrollers could be the best in Cheese League Baseball. Schroeder, Benetti, and Hale, all lights out pitchers. You see, look at their velocity is all very high. Their junk is all right there. Their accuracy is all right there. Should be lights out pitchers for the Steamrollers. Should see lots of strikeouts. Again, just should be lights out for them. Gets down to Pokemana. He's your C-, fourth starter there. And then also Will Steady is kind of your long man, but we'll see how that works out for them. Clementine Silva is your B+ rated closer, so pretty solid B+ though. 82 in the velocity meter and a little bit higher on junk as well, so something to keep an eye on. You know, they really want their starting rotation to do work and for their players to get on base and run. That's kind of the MO for the Rollers. Last couple teams here, the Strongmen. Strongmen is another team I kind of modeled after kind of like a minor league franchise. I know there's a minor league team out there where their mustaches is the logo on their hat. And also I wanted to do something that not only used the Strongman logo, I love that, or like the guy flexing, but I wanted to do something that was kind of like the Oakland A's. So the Strongmen, this is how they look and they feel. Love that Oakland A's. Like that hat, just the Oakland A's, the green and yellow. Something about that just works. Again, it's like the Mets blue and orange. It just works for baseball. Taking a look at the Strongmen, we have Ogle Corker, Langston Ali, and Dave Briefs, all A-rated players right up top. Corker, of course, the higher A-rated player with 88 in the power meter, good contact, amazing speed. Langston Ali, amazing speed as well. You have Class Burnswell, he's up there as well with very high speed. And then Casey View, very good on the power meter there too. Let's see, Milana Gomez, pretty high in power. We have Serenity Hilldown, their left fielder, also good on power. Pretty speedy team now. I'm looking up and down this lineup, you know, 74, 90 for Burnswell. Burnswell does like to run, I can say that. And then Cummings off the bench, 79. So their bench is a little rough, I'll say that. And the rotation is probably mid-tier rotation. Let's, you know, Cynthia O'Donnell up top with your B+ rated starter, your AC rotation. So not a big velocity rotation, more of an accuracy. You know, throw the ball, get your defense to do the work. Accuracy, Grayson Robertson has 98 in accuracy. That's pretty darn good right there. And then we get down into their bullpen. Their bullpen's a little rough looking. Vale McClary, your C-rated closer. 97 on the accuracy meter. Not very high in velocity or junk, but nonetheless, you know, want your rotation to do some of the work. I think they're more of a power hitting team. Their idea is we're just going to out hit you, and we'll let our rotation, we'll let our bullpen kind of do their work. They're accurate pitchers. They'll get in, they'll throw the ball. Defense will do its work, but we're just going to out hit you. We're going to out slug you. It's kind of the Strongmen's kind of MO. It kind of fits their logo too. All right, final two teams here. The Warblers. I keep asking myself, why do I like the Warblers so much? Why do I like their logo? Why do I like their colors? It's because it's actually kind of Geek Cheese colors here on YouTube. So, but I wanted to do something again with using shapes to create like a logo. So you used a couple of shapes, create that Warblers W there. And I like the way their jerseys, their away jerseys, I think are pretty darn sharp looking. I like the gray on the teal. I think that color scheme just works, and then also the gold accents. I like the way that looks. Pastel kind of colors. I like that. Let's take a look at their roster. Kenna Watson right up top, A- player here. Big power, big contact, pretty good speed as well. Very, very good in the field. That's probably why the A- rating there. Gray Rose, Judy Charles, Marlon Johns, all B+ rated players. Look at Rose up there, 99 on the contact meter, and also very high with Charles and Johns too. So a couple of players to keep an eye on. Let's see, in terms of your power hitters, again, we talked about Watson, but we also have Holloway up there. He's another one of your power hitters, a power hitting third baseman. And not a lot of power in this lineup, more of a contact team. You see Barneswell there, big contact guy, good speed too on the base paths. And Nico McLongthrope, or Marina McLongthrope, Nico McLongthrope is your catcher there. So pretty solid contact there for your catcher. Their rotation, or their rotation in their bullpen is pretty solid too. We have Mike Griffin right up top, A- rated, big on the junk, big on accuracy. Your power arm out of the rotation is your A-, kind of middle, kind of like long man Russ Smalls, 78, 76 on velocity and junk meters. And then we get down to the end of the rotation here, the end of the bullpen too. Crawford, pretty darn good and pretty much a power pitcher, and then your A- rated Chucky Harrington. So 86, 52, 86, so pretty solid arm closing out your games for the Warblers fans. Ian Duke there too. I don't think Ian Duke's stats kind of represent how good of a pitcher that he can be. Yes, that's pretty interesting. It's interesting looking at these teams, looking at their stats after the fact, after I've recorded many games. I'm trying not to give anything away to you guys. So, pretty darn interesting. Our final team here, folks, is the Whalers. And the Whalers, again, just want to do something different for their away jerseys, but I just like the blue on the blue. I don't know what it is. It's like the seafoam sea blue on top of the dark blue. Everything about this team just kind of fits in terms of their logo and their jersey. Just absolutely love it. I think the Whale is another new addition too for Cheese League or for Super Mega Baseball. Let's take a look. They play at El Viejo Stadium. And taking a look at the Whalers, Ready A is their top guy here. Big on contact, good speed on the base pass. We have Kate Durham, your power hitting first baseman. Pretty good speed too for a power hitting first baseman. For big arm right up top, or a big bat right up top. Then also, I mean, just look at the power in this lineup. You have Cole Lane, 87, Owen English, 92, Ralph Briggs, 93. Pretty big bats here. Even talk about speed. Serm White on the base pass gets on, steal bases. Same thing. Ralph Briggs. Ralph Briggs, pretty darn good looking outfielder there for the Whalers. We talk about their Sicily up there too. Their power hitting catcher. So they got lots going on here for the Whalers. And when we get down to the rotation, Lenny Downhill is their A+ rated starter. I mean, look at. May have saved the best starter for last, because look at Downhill's velocity, 90, jump 95 or 75, and then accuracy 99. So he is ace all the way. Pretty good pitchers here in Hazard and Newman as well. And then we get down into their bullpen. We got Power Slide. Actually, end up seeing Power Slide and Benitez a lot, especially right now. I'm recording some Whalers games, so see them quite a bit. Power Slide's a really good power pitcher out of your bullpen. And then once it gets down to the kind of the end of the bullpen here, they don't have really a dedicated closer, so people kind of fill in those roles as they go. But pretty average, I would say, bullpen for the Whalers. And that is how that kind of lines up there, folks. So that is an introduction to our 10 teams here of Cheese League Baseball. And I'll do a little opening day shout out. So our opening day is, of course, tomorrow, July 4th. Our first game's at 1 o'clock, airing on Geek Cheese on YouTube. We've got the Feud and Fouls versus the Rampage. 2 o'clock, we have the Olympians versus the Whalers. 7 o'clock, the night games, we have the Graziers versus the Strongmen, and kind of blocking it there, but the Colonels versus the Steamrollers at 8 o'clock. So all games, again, premiering on Geek Cheese on YouTube. There will be a link in the Twitter post that actually has gone out already. Feel free to check out that link. That's a link directly to the playlist on YouTube. That's where you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, get notifications when the games are airing, and follow all of your Cheese League baseball teams, all your favorites. So pick a team, pick a squad, run with it throughout the whole year. We're going to be broadcasting games from July through September, and we'll see how things end up. It's a pretty darn interesting season, I can tell you. So, and I'm very close to it, so I might be partial. But thank you so much for watching this video. Thank you so much for taking an interest in Cheese League baseball. Again, I'm a huge baseball fan. I was absolutely devastated with COVID that there wouldn't be a baseball season. So that's why I started this project a month and a half ago. Now there is, of course, a baseball season, so go figure. But wanted to give you guys a real kind of authentic feel baseball league with, in my opinion, probably the best baseball game that has ever been made. Honestly, this Super Mega Baseball is such a fantastic video game, and kudos to Metalhead Software for developing something that's not only fun, gives you that neat arcade style feel, but something that is so customizable and that can allow me to even do something like this. So again, kudos to them, and we will see you guys for opening day, 1 o'clock. That's it for me. Take care, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.